Hey everybody. This is the one I've been putting off for a very long time, the one that was by far the most requested by you guys on Instagram a few weeks ago, and that was non-metallic metal. I'm just gonna show you rather than try to explain what happened. This was my first attempt, okay? This is where I gave up with this one because it just wasn't doing it. This next one, a little bit better as far as the colors, but the light sources were off and it was just very, very frustrating for me. So today on camera, am trying again. And if you're wondering why I have 3 of these, well, it's because my local Games Workshop, or Warhammer, I guess they're calling it now, was giving them out for free. So I actually have several more if it comes to it. I'm gonna link the tutorial I followed below. The only thing I honestly used from this tutorial, I forgot to take my brushes out. So the colors that I'm using are white, this blue-gray color, a light gray, a medium darkish gray, and then a deep blue. That's what I'm using, and I already have them here on my palette. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. Another thing that I'm gonna do this time that I didn't do in the previous 2 times I tried this is I'm going to copy from a picture where I want the light. And so I'm taking this second to lightest color here, and I'm gonna make it not into quite a glaze consistency, but just so that it's flowing really well on my brush. And I'm going to be putting this, so in the picture it shows it, oh, that's probably a bit too watery actually. We don't want it to be flowing all over. Okay, I'm gonna be putting this here. And in the tutorial, he just does a kind of rough sketch of the light. So there's one, and then we have a second light source here at the back. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fill that in. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. And then so obviously he wasn't painting this exact thing. So I'm combining the techniques, like the color choices from that video, along with the light sources from a picture that I saw of a shoulder pad that was very similar to this. So I'm placing one highlight here. This is all going to be dark, and then the second highlight's gonna come up about here. Oh, I'm also just going off of memory. I don't have the picture in front of me. You'd think after 3 attempts, I would like prepare myself, but okay. We have that, and then one more along the back. Let's say about here. Okay. And then a little bit more. Okay. And then I also, I can't remember, like I said, I don't have the picture in front of me, but I feel like I want to put one right here at the top. Right? Maybe? Okay. And maybe one here too. I don't know. Okay, now I don't know. See, this is my problem. I go in with a plan. Okay. It only makes logical sense if I have one on that side to have it on the inside part. No. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna rinse this out. So these are the areas that I'm going to be highlighting. And so the next thing that the guy in the video does is he takes the same color we just used but makes it a really thin glaze and starts blending all of those areas that we just shaded. He glazes them to make them really well blended. I really enjoy glazing personally. It's like something, if you saw my volume painting video, that's the video that I picked that skill up in and loved it so much. And I've been glazing everything recently, so that's why I thought maybe I was ready to try non-metallic metal, just because of that reason. Okay, I'm gonna start glazing. Why is this color so much darker? Did I accidentally add, like, hold on, what the hell? You see it's like so much darker. Why? Okay, fix this. Okay, should be thin enough, maybe. Okay, oh yeah, that's better. Okay, so I am just going to be softening these edges a little bit. This is probably still a little bit too thick. I'm gonna water it down a little bit more, soften up some of these edges, and I will be back. Okay, that went okay. Buffed them out a little bit. They don't look really stark anymore. I need to do a little bit more blending on certain areas, but overall we're okay. The next step he did was he took this medium color, this medium gray, made a glaze of that, and then he used that color to glaze from the deep parts out. So again, we're just blending that line between the recess areas and the high points, and the highlights we just did. So like I said, I made a glaze, and I am just going to be placing this gray. I have too much on my brush. I've been practicing glazing for a little bit, like I mentioned earlier, so I'm learning like how much you want on your brush, which direction you want your brush strokes to go, and things like that are good to know going into this. I think the only reason I haven't been successful at this method, honestly, is because I simply do not understand the light. Like now with other minis, when I'm not doing non-metallic metal, I can look at it and know where I want to put like the highlights, but with metal it's more complicated because there are reflections and it like does weird things with the light. So I picked a reference photo, and I am just basically copying the highlights, their placement on that photo. I am just replicating it. That's how I knew where to put the highlights in the beginning, otherwise I'd be lost. But that's part of the learning process. I'm hoping that the more I do this, I'll be able to kind of understand a little bit more like why the highlights actually go where they do. But we've still got our training wheels on, so I am not ashamed of copying other people. Okay, I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm simply bringing the dark parts darker, and I am glazing, especially the transitions between the dark and the light. I'm just making them extra smooth. It's gonna take a few layers before it's as smooth as we need it to be. Okay, from this point on, all I'm going to be doing to make this hopefully look like metal is I'm gonna bring the high points out and make the dark points a lot darker. So the next thing I'm gonna do is take a combination of, oh, I got paint on my finger. Take a combination of this color and white and make a glaze of that, and then I'm gonna place that glaze within all of the areas that I've already done, the high parts, and then I'm going to make a glaze of this gray and that gray and place that in areas. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'm gonna kind of fast forward through that part because I feel like this video is gonna be way too long. So I'll do that, show some of it, and then we'll come back and reconvene for the next step. All right, I did some more blending. I added a darker gray and then made a glaze of that. I still, like you can see right here, have to bridge that and fix it, smooth it out a little bit. But what I'm gonna do next is take just the gray, not as a glaze, but just as is, water it down a little bit. We want it to flow smoothly. and I'm gonna be putting this into the deep crevices. So you wanna do this with a pointy brush, obviously, and just running this all up into the deepest parts. I hope I'm in focus. I honestly am sweating bullets just trying to keep these lines tidy that I... Oh god, this is stressful, everybody. Okay. It is looking better already. So again, at this point, it's about bringing the contrast up. We're taking the darker parts, making them even darker, and then taking the lighter parts and making them even lighter. Oh god, okay. Just gonna run this along this second rim. And then see if it starts to look like metal. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this. And then all I'm gonna do after that, which I will probably show a little bit of, is I'm going to be mixing blue, my dark blue that I have here, into the gray. So I'm gonna make a glaze of like a blue, dark blue gray, and I am going to be buffing out all of these dark areas that I just made. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and we'll be back. Okay, everybody, I did a couple things. So well, this is what it looks like as of right now. I had to get one shade darker, almost black, to mix in with the blue to get like the really, really, really deep parts. And I started with pure white on the high parts. I need to do a few more layers of the pure white. I might do a few layers of the darkest colors in the deeper areas just to heighten it even more. But I feel like now I want to do a new thing because I'm getting kind of sick of it. So I'm going to do what he does in the video, which is edge highlight everything with white, which I'm really nervous about, as you guys know. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know I'm not huge on edge highlighting. I just added a little bit of water just so that it flows, but we definitely don't want it to be all over the place. Okay, I'm probably not going to film all of this, by the way, because it's hard to... Oh god, oh my god. I'm just going to start. Okay. I'm using the side of the brush. Slow and steady wins the race. Boy. Okay, I did that first line. It's okay, this part's a little... It's like you need it to be really crisp. Okay, there we go, that's better. Okay, that's helping me. I think it's helping it be more convincing. Get a little bit more water here. It's helping me. It's also stressing me out, man. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I have to do the little bolts, or I don't know what you would call them, these little like divot thingies in his armor. I'm gonna go ahead and do all of those and the top parts, and then I will be back. Wish me luck, okay? Oh. Okay guys, this is where I'm gonna stop for today. If anyone has any advice, I like, okay, let me just say, I think it's okay. I like it. It's pretty. If it was someone else's, I would be like, oh, that looks amazing. But something about it, I don't know if it's just because I've spent so much time on it or if I'm overthinking it, but it's just not quite what I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I do still need to blend some areas. Like if you look on this side, there's this part at the back. I still need to blend that a little bit more. I think I also need to make the highlights take up more space. I think it was Miniac's non-metallic metal video where he said that you should have the majority of it should be the highlight, and then the deep parts, the dark parts should be minimal. So maybe if I add more surface area of the light, I'm not sure. Okay, well, anyway, let me know. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye!